Drivers on Edgell Road may have done a double take when seeing ladies in hoop skirts and gentlemen in top hats on the Center Common recently.
The Framingham History Center sponsored a General Gordon walking tour of buildings around the Common that were important in the life of Framingham Civil War General George Gordon. Tour guides, dressed up in period costume, met other characters along the way, including Julia Ward Howe, Gordon's mother, and General Gordon himself. This event is part of the History Center's lead-up to their Civil War encampment coming to the Common this October.
We have so many buildings, so much land that this famous Civil War general used to walk in his youth and later after the war. There are places on this tour that amaze people because it's land that is, you could be back in the 1870s very easily, 1860s, 1840s for that matter. We can focus it on one person and it's one man's life, and it's a lot easier for people to kind of grasp the magnitude of what was happening in this country when you can see it through the eyes of a young man who grew up in Framingham, went to the old academy, you know, and was friends with all the people in the Common. It's a wonderful story.
What I'm doing is I'm humanizing General Gordon. You know, General Gordon is a figure. He's a Civil War general, and you know, lots of great stories. You know, wartime stories about the guy. He was, you know, very well decorated. But the story that I tell isn't specifically about any of those exploits. It's about, you know, what he was like as a guy. He seems like a real sort of down to earth, a real pragmatist. You know, he apparently found this horse on the battlefield. Immediately recognized that it was a better quality horse than what was typically being issued by the Army of the North at that point. So he basically took it for himself and you know, apparently had great success with the horse. You know, you can read all about his Civil War exploits in history books, but to get a real sense of what the guy might have been like as a person, I think that's, you know, the people appreciate that.
People who have lived in Framingham their whole lives might not even be aware of just the wealth of history that Framingham has to offer. And I think the Framingham History Center does an excellent job of bringing that history and making it come alive.
We first were in a skirmish at South Mountain, which was my friend's first action in combat, which was traumatizing for all of us, but it was only a skirmish compared to the battle of the next few days, which was at Antietam Creek.